but you got to go Cristiano Ronaldo. 5 goals to lead the group stages. You can say this everything about Kai that I've said with Germany. You can say with obviously with Cristiano and Portugal. Without Cristiano, they probably don't make it. And most of his goals have been penalties, but I mean, sinking those is an art within itself. You can see how players take it for granted and they think a penalty is automatically a goal. That's actually only true with certain players, and Ronaldo's one of them. And you saw that with Spain with a good player and Gerardo Moreno. And yeah, it's not easy to score the goal. That's something that's a common. I thought was a common theme throughout the group stages. It may seem simple scoring goals, but it's really not that easy. Like scoring goals is still the name of the game, and the teams that score the most are going to win. I know that sounds really simple, but that's really it's really not that easy. So yeah, I'm going to go Ronaldo. He scored in every game that Portugal played. Without him, they probably don't advance because Hungary really look out for it. And yeah, if that stays, we'll see. Because Portugal has a really tough draw. I know that on their side. I thought they could maybe face France in the final. I think France is on their side, on their side of the bracket. So they really got a tough path to the final, even though they are stacked, man.
Really, really liking your pick on Cristiano Ronaldo. And just to piggyback off of what you were saying, scoring a penalty is definitely an art. It's very difficult. And in a tournament where majority of the penalties have been missed, Ronaldo is sinking them, just like you said, and he's taking the opportunities and he is scoring. Can you blame him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's something that does bother me when people talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. They say that he scores a lot of sitters and a lot of penalties. Well, yeah, you got to be there at the right place at the right time. He doesn't just randomly show up. He knows what runs to make, and he knows where to place the ball. The way that he shoots his penalties, he always drives the ball, but it goes so fast that even if the keeper guesses the right way, it'll probably just slip through his hands, or he won't be fast enough to stop the ball. So yeah, I like it. Cristiano Ronaldo with his sheer presence is a ridiculous player, and a huge boost of confidence for Portugal, this team that hasn't looked very confident throughout the tournament. So Ronaldo, he's the reason why Portugal is where they are at. Anything else you want to add about CR7?
No, that's actually a great point. You can even see when they were playing France, as soon as they went behind, and I texted you right away when that was going on. I was like, "You got to tune in. Portugal's about to get knocked out of the final," because we were debating which tie was better, because Hungary and Germany were really going at it, and Hungary looked up for it. But how long did that last? 10, 15 minutes, and then Ronaldo got a penalty. I mean, Portugal earned the penalty. Ronaldo took it, but that's it. Like you said, he's a great boost of confidence for that team. Even when they go down, they know that they can look to him, and he's probably gonna have the goods. So yeah, I double down. Ronaldo's definitely the player of the tourney so far.
He thrives with that pressure. No doubt about that. He definitely thrives. My pick for player of the group stage, Kevin De Bruyne. He missed the entire first game. He didn't play, and he missed the first half of the second game, the one that they played against Denmark. But you look at Belgium in the first half against Denmark, and then you look at them in the second half, it's a completely different team. Because in the first half, they were flat. Romelu Lukaku had to drop deep in order to get some of the ball, and he was slipping. He wasn't as successful as he was as soon as Kevin De Bruyne came in, because that guy, I don't think he's ever made a bad read, a bad choice on the pitch. I'm sure, obviously he has, but it just doesn't feel like it, because the impact that he has on the game is so big that it overshadows all the bad that he does whenever he does any bad. But He just does everything. He carries the ball. He picks out the right pass, as I was just saying. He drags opposing defenders. He exploits any spaces. He generates spaces. He scores. I mean, what else do you really want from a player? What else do you want from your star midfielder? He eases the pressure off of a Lukaku, off of a Hazard, because the players can just look over to De Bruyne and he'll be like, I got this. I can transition this team from defense to attack in a matter of a couple of dribbles. It's that it's that presence, just how I was talking about Ronaldo and how we were saying that his presence gives the entire team a boost of confidence. Kevin De Bruyne's presence gives a massive boost to this Belgium team in quality and in confidence, because they know that no other team in this tournament has a player like Kevin De Bruyne. It's an absolute luxury to have Kevin De Bruyne on your team, and what he has been doing, that chemistry that he has with Romelu Lukaku, unbelievable. It's incredibly scary. If I was Portugal, I'd be game planning hard and trying to make sure that we get attacked on the side that Pepe and Nelson Semedo aren't defending on, because good luck with that.
Yeah, that's a great pick, and that's one of the names that was definitely on the consideration on my end. He's a beast, man. He's a beast, and he has that same confidence that Ronaldo carries as well. And it's all these top players have it, but I mean, De Bruyne has everything that you want, like you said. Uh, I mean, if you ask Jose Mourinho, he'd probably say otherwise. Because that's why he shipped him out of my club. But yeah, it kills me, man. He's so good. He's
Yeah.
so good, and he's a leader. And since he's played with Pep, he's become like he was always like I always thought his footballing IQ was up there. Like
Hmm.
it was you can see that he's an intelligent player. But since he's been with Pep, it's like he's a genius. He carries himself like a Perlo, but he's also like bigger and he's more of a goal threat. It's like, man, what a player.
Yeah, is there something he can't do? My goodness, he is just a very, very special player, and the game is, it just slows down for him always. He's always 5, 6 steps ahead of everyone. He knows what pass he's gonna pick like 2 minutes before it actually happens. It's actually quite unbelievable when you see it. Even though you're actually seeing it in front of your eyes, you're like, is this really happening? Is this just a simulation? What's going on? Kevin De Bruyne is just on a whole nother level, and I can't think of many players that have the same impact that he has. I can think of three off the top of my head. We just talked about one a few minutes ago: Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and Neymar. Other than that, who else? Just Kevin De Bruyne. That's it.
Yeah.
He's up there. He's in that level. I believe he's in that level, and surely you do as well, based on what you've said about him and the way that you've expressed yourself about him. But um, what other players would you consider in this conversation of best of the group stage, other than Ronaldo and De Bruyne? I have a list of a few here, but I want to hear what you have in mind.
Yeah, you could say Romelu Lukaku. He
Mm-hmm.
has 3 goals. He's tied for second. He's looked amazing. He looked amazing without De Bruyne that first game as well. And he was coming off the news that his boy, his teammate Christian Eriksen had just suffered, cardiac arrest the day before. But he's also looked so good with De Bruyne. He looks scary, and he's a monster, man. And having them both of them on the field together with Hazard coming back to I mean, I wouldn't say back to health because he's had a bunch of little nagging injuries, but coming back to his form because he looks at home in Belgium. He looks like he knows how to play with these guys. So having all of them humming to the same tune is just really scary to watch. I think it would take something like in Italy with their defensive structure to take them out because they look really, really strong. Belgium looks like they would put most teams to the sword. So Romelu Lukaku, and then I would say also Patrick Schick.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Schick is leading Czech Republic, led them to the next round. He's also tied for second in for most goals in the tournament. He's taken penalties for Czech Republic and Sankum. He's taken that wonder goal that we talked about in the first episode. He looks awesome, man. He looks like a really great player, and yeah, he's another one that would be definitely mentioned for sure.
Yeah, well, the guys that you mentioned are on my list too, and just to add to those players that you said, what about Gini Wijnaldum being a threat as a midfielder, being a goal scoring threat as a midfielder for the Netherlands? I think that that's something that isn't being talked about as much, and he's a big reason as to why the Netherlands have won all 3 games in the group stage. The Italian guys, Locatelli, Spinazzola too. Even listen, based on what I saw from Verratti last Sunday against Wales, had he played against Turkey and Switzerland, he would be in this conversation because he hasn't missed a beat. He looked so good. And I for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I just woke up feeling like I wanted to watch Marco Verratti. And I followed him throughout the game, and I'm like, this guy's so clever. He's so clever on the ball. So I feel like he would have been a great shout should he have played those first 2 games. But I feel like those Italian guys, Spinazzola, Locatelli, maybe even Immobile, maybe Insigne, Jorginho. What a tournament he's having. He's having an excellent run too. Man, the Italian guys, it's hard to pick one. But I feel like the reason why we picked the players that we picked is because they are standing out a lot on teams that really needed their support, and they balled out. Props to them.
Yeah. All those guys. It's tough to pick. All these guys have been really, really instrumental for these teams. But yeah, and they've been coming in clutch in the moments that they need them. So it's been a joy to watch. I just wish there was more attacking football throughout the group stages, but hopefully we get that going forward with the composition evening now.